I'm happy with that.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cricket Show. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We'll be hearing from Damien Fleming, the hero of yesterday on the first day of this Ashes Test match here at the Gabba. And we'll also be hearing from two of the masters, Sachin Tendulkar with the bat and Shane Warne with the ball. And while we're speaking of masters, Ian Healy is a master of the game. As wicket-keeper, he's taken 363 test dismissals, just a wonderful achievement and a world record. What could be his top 5? Michael Maher finds out.
Oh, there's a big appeal and he's got him. That's the end of Gooch. He's gone for the sweep again. That is a very good catch. And a big shout from behind and Hick has gone.
When Ian Healy does step out of cricket, it won't be to take up a job as a hand model. Beaten and fractured fingers go hand in glove with the wicket-keeping trade. But every time you pick up one of these, the pain seems worthwhile.
He got him. So Healy's got his 356th catch. He breaks the record of Rod Marsh.
And when you post 356 dismissals and break Rod Marsh's world record, pain is the last thing on your mind.
The first day of that test in Rawalpindi, I was grabbing at a few deliveries and my feet weren't going that flash because I got 2 dismissals in the first half an hour of the match. I thought, oh, I'm going to get it today. And from then on, I just kept, is this the one? Is this the one? My feet started to cement themselves and my movements weren't as flash as I'd like. But as I said, in the second innings, it was much better. I'd forgotten about the dismissal and it just happened, which is the way you've got to play.
Healy is playing his 107th Test match, the same tally as the other longest-serving Australian, Steve Waugh. In November, 10 years ago, at the Gabba, up against the West Indies rather than the English, Waugh and Healy combined to give the keeper his first catch on Australian soil.
Good leg cutter, fine catch.
Rod Marsh collected 105 scalps, nearly a third of his wickets, care of the missiles launched by Dennis Lillee. And you might think that for Heels, the partnership with Shane Warne has been the most lucrative. But you'd be wrong.
Funnily enough, my best success and strike rate with any bowler still is Craig McDermott. He and I have got 55 dismissals, I think, whereas Warney and I have got about high 40s. So, Mark Taylor gets a high percentage. He's got more from Warne than I have. So I'd like Warney to stop spinning them so far and get the edges to me again.
Leaning forward and great embrace.
They're subject to revision, but Healy has somehow arrived at his top 5 dismissals. The first, Sri Lankan Ravi Ratnayaka, can blame the person who wrote the program for that Hobart Test.
I was reading in the viewing room the match brochure, and my rundown was, it said something like, solid, doesn't make too many errors, but won't win you a game or won't turn a match because, you know, not flashy enough or whatever. And Ravi leg glanced this ball and it was wide and low and fast, and I moved very well and dived and caught it right-handed, and you know, we went on to win the match because that turned it a little bit in that afternoon, gave us more momentum to go on and win the match.
And a shout there from Ian Healy and Ravi Ratnayaka walks.
There was Graham Thorpe, Edgbaston 1993, with the English running out of batsmen.
We sort of mentioned that, you know, you should probably go for some quick runs here to him, and he to our delight, he went out of his crease and tried to hit Warney through the covers, and the ball spun and bounced out of the footmarks which were there, and it was a good stumping because I had to be good enough to catch the thing for a start, bouncing and turning, and then quick enough to beat him back.
Oh, he's got him! Yes, he's out stumped.
Number 3 is reserved for the often difficult-to-feel spin from the left arm of Michael Bevan. The victim, Mark Butcher, Old Trafford, 1997.
Gone for all money.
Then comes Wasim Akram, facing up to Merv Hughes at the MCG back in 1990.
All the slips are looking into Terry's hands for the ball, and I've moved across and taken it in front of his hands, which happens very quickly.
And if you don't take that, you're in big strike.
Yeah, if you make the wrong decision and go for one like that and don't take it, even though it's a spectacular catch, you look pretty silly. So it's something that's just got to be natural. Merv Hughes was the bowler, and he wouldn't have been easy to cope with if I had dropped it as well. So extra incentive to catch it.
That's off the back of the bat, and he's caught behind, and that is a brilliant catch.
Finally, dismissal 200, Darryl Cullen, care of Craig McDermott, Adelaide 94. As soon as Healy passed Rod Marsh's mark, commentators began to set the bar higher and be assured that a man who still relishes his training will rise to the occasion. But those that think that 400 is a possibility may be underestimating this gloveman's ability to accumulate. As long as Healy can stay fit and hold his spot, there is plenty of blue sky.
I don't think the people who are talking about 400 think a whole lot know how quickly that'll loom. Like, I'm hoping to have 400 by the West Indies tour this year. We've got 9 tests, and if those tests go to plan, by the end of the West Indies tour, 400's gone. So, you know, 400's not a great milestone from this point on in my mind.
Okay,
Let's
talk 500.
Yeah, well, that would be, you know, a bit of a shock and a big milestone. But, you know, I'm certainly not thinking 500 or anything. I think I've just got to enjoy every series and keep enjoying my cricket, because I'm loving what I'm doing. You know, if that gets me to another Ashes tour in 2001, great. But if not, I just want to have a great time finding out just how long I'm going to play.
A great player and ambassador for Australia. After the break, Damien Fleming. In general, when Damien Fleming would have done a cricket interview over the years, it would have been talking about his achievements with the ball. He is one of Australia's best fast bowlers. But yesterday, his 71 not out in this test match here at the Gabba was a marvellous achievement, and we thought we'd better talk to him about his achievements with the bat. Tony Greig spoke to Damien Fleming earlier this morning.
Well, obviously the bowling's going wonderfully, and now all of a sudden we've got the batting. Have you got a batting coach, first of all? That's what I know that Glenn McGrath uses Steve Waugh. What about Damien Fleming?
Yeah, I'm not really in Glenn's shoes at the moment. No, I just sort of, yeah, Jeff Marsh has done a bit of work with me, as well as John Scholes, and Victorian coach. And basically, you know, I tend to try and play my shots, so I'm trying to be a little bit more restrictive in my shot play and watch the ball all the way. So I haven't really got one coach, but, you know, it's like just another facet of the game I've got to work on, as well as my bowling.
You're sort of restricting your shots, you say. I noticed one of those shots you played when you first went out there yesterday, on one leg, knee pointing in the direction of mid-wicket and the ball disappearing through the offside field.
Well, as I said, I'm not working on my footwork, it's just watching the ball. So basically I'm watching the ball and seeing what happens there, and footwork's never been my real you know, confidence thing there. But yeah, I just sort of watch the ball and try and hit it.
Fleming is playing some very extravagant shots. That brings him his highest test score. Oh, he's taking on the spinners as well as the quickies. That's very well hit. Oh, Damien Fleming, he is on fire. That is a magnificent shot.
When you walk out of the centre in a situation like that, you've got a senior batsman out in the centre with you. You look very relaxed. Is that the way you approach it all?
Yeah, I just, I knew we'd lost a couple of quick wickets, so really I just wanted to hang around for heels. And it's funny how your confidence can get up straight away. And Al Malali was bowling beautifully from this end, and he just bowled one, and I just let it go, and I thought, geez, I saw that all right. And then the next time I was up there and I got forward, and I thought, geez, this might be a good day here.
Oh, it's going straight.
What about your bat sponsorship? I just happened to notice there was nothing on your bat, which is which in this day and age is a bit of a blow, I suppose, for a professional cricketer. And we do hear that your manager has been out around there touting for something to put on the bat.
Yeah, it's pretty tough on the bowlers. The batters sort of get the big contracts for the batting, and we sort of get left out a bit. But yeah, you never know. Hopefully, manager talks to the right people, or they get in touch with my manager, and maybe I'll get a sponsor for the next test.
I'm sure it's all going to happen, no doubt about that. Any targets? I mean, Warren made 74, Merv Hughes is 72 in the dressing room. There's a bit of competition. You were 71 not out.
Yeah, in retrospect, I'm really spewing about that. I was out in the field, and I actually thought about Merv, and I thought, geez, I wonder if he just got 70 not out. And then I remember Warney was in the 70s, and then Patrick, the media liaison guy, he told me that I'd missed out by 1 on Merv and 3 on Warney, so they'll be having it over me for a while now.
Right, so the bowling's going well, the batting's going well. You're in this test side, enjoying playing at this level and touring as much as you are?
Oh, definitely. It's just the ultimate playing for Australia. You know, it just really makes you appreciate the low times, like being 12th man last year. And, you know, to get back in, I really want to stay in as long as I can now.
Just going back to Damien Fleming as a kid of, say, 12 or 13, was Damien Fleming a swing bowler then or a batsman?
A bit of both, actually. Used to bat number 3, like everyone, open the bowling. And, yeah, a few of the coaches thought I might end up a batter, but that was pretty squashed by about 16 or 17.
Right, well, thanks for chatting to us today, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, Tony.
Time now for a break on the Cricket Show.
'82. Lawson the bowler, Lamb the batsman, Marsh the legend. Another spectacular dive, and the man once dubbed Iron Gloves becomes the first wicketkeeper in Test cricket to complete 300 catches.
The bouncer is off the glove and he's gone, and that's Marsh has done it. That's the record. A brilliant catch by Rodney Marsh, and a fitting one for the occasion too. Rodney Marsh's 300.
In India earlier this year, the clash of the masters took place. Shane Warne, the bowler, and Sachin Tendulkar, the batsman. Now, in the end, Sachin Tendulkar took the clash on points. But there could have been some excuses for Shane Warne through injury. Paul Lockyer reports.
Now that's a shot to the play so often. That is superbly struck.
Lacking support, Shane Warne was left to shoulder much of the attack in stifling conditions.
He's gone for it.
Doesn't matter what grade it is, when you're the lone bowler trying to hold the team in check and at the same time get wickets, even a player like Shane Warne becomes frustrated and then perhaps tries to get a wicket every ball, something that he wouldn't normally do.
Terry Jenner, who has become something of a mentor for Warne, squirmed as he watched the Indians contemptuously carry the attack to the leg spinner.
And no man protecting the mid-wicket fence.
For his part, though, Shane offered no excuses.
We have played badly. We haven't had much runs to bowl to, and I probably haven't bowled at my best. We all haven't played that well. But to give credit where credit's due, India played bloody well. You know?
And they did have Sachin Tendulkar.
Oh, he's gone after him again. And he's hit a big one. That's into the stands.
The batsman that Bradman says most closely resembles his style seemed, like the Don, to be able to put the ball where he wished.
And the first ball, he smashed it.
Not really predetermined at all. Sometimes maybe a couple of deliveries at times. But I don't think I have played any predetermined shots. Probably I picked them early enough to play that shot. That's why I played the shots.
This time he's played it off the pads. It's going to be 4. Robertson not quick enough to stop it.
He's just so quick on his feet. He judges the length so quickly, and when he hits them, they stay hit, that's for sure. And, I mean, he's the best player, I believe, in the world, and daylight between the next bloke.
Well, that's well hit. 6.
What was it like standing in at first slip there and watching Tendulkar just slay into everybody?
It's a terrible feeling. It's something that I've been very lucky in my captaincy career. I haven't had a lot of, where you stand there and you're trying to think of anything you can do to stem the tide. You change your bowlers, you change the men's, you bring on some part-time bowlers, you set some defensive fields. I think I tried all that, and it still didn't work.
He's gone over the top on this occasion, and very successfully. 6. Way back. That's the 150 up.
I did a fair amount of mental preparations, and it has definitely paid off.
Well, he's used the crossback once again. He's obviously decided that if the ball is going to be pitched up there for the big hit, even if it's going to be against the turn, he's going to go for it.
Yes, this man doesn't like the game to stagnate.
You know, I've been connecting those shots. As long as I'm connecting, I don't mind playing them.
You know, sometimes you just think, where am I going to bowl to this bloke? He's hitting them so well. And now that's where you just got to stay patient and just believe. And if you're getting enough balls in the right spot, eventually you can't keep doing that, you know. And, well, you know, even if he gets 170, eventually he's got to get out sometime.
And that'll be his 60th Test century.
Tendulkar knows the conditions, has played the conditions perfectly, has been able to, balls pitched outside leg, he's been able to just put 1 foot across and smash them over the fence. Wouldn't do that out here. And so I think that's 1-0. But please bring Sachin Tendulkar back to Australia soon so that we can see Warne versus Tendulkar on Warne's territory. I think you might find that it'll be a slightly different result.
There's two wonderful players, and let's look forward to them clashing here in Australia, and let's hope it is a different result. Don't go away, more Cricket Show to come after the break.
Who's the worst teammate to room with?
Joe Angel. I'm currently with Daniel Marsh, and he's not bad, but he's probably the worst one of that.
Probably Shane Lee, because we don't get a lot of sleep when we room together. Who's the hardest bowler you've faced?
Definitely Adam Dale. Any bowler, because any bowler is capable of bowling the delivery to get you out, so it's just a matter of concentrating and doing all those sort of things.
Ambrose, no question. Which state do you like to beat the most? Definitely Queensland.
Queensland.
Here, in the doghouse, wherever they want to mix it and match it, New South Wales. Who's your favourite cricket commentator?
Probably Wayne Phillips. Oh, Richie. Everyone loves Richie, doesn't he?
Richie Benaud, marvellous commentator. Which football team do you support? Broncos.
I'm a Geelong football supporter and love the Cats. Love the West Coast Eagles.
At a time is probably one of the most challenging aspects of the job. Let's imagine for the purposes of this that we've got a right-handed batsman. I like to have a set stance, just like any batsman does, that I start at when I'm wicket-keeping up to the stumps to the spinners. And that stance is basically 2 foot lengths back from the crease, where I mark a line, a horizontal line, and then a line about 5 centimetres from the off stump. And at the intersection of those two, I plant my left foot and take up my normal crouch. The advantage of having this set crouch position is if the batsman starts to wander and interfere with your eye line, you have a reference point to return to. The footwork for the spinners while you're up to the stumps can be separated into 2 features, offside and leg side, with the basic philosophies being stay down with the bounce of the ball, your gloves are the last things to leave the ground, and try and keep your head and eyes over your gloves at all times. On the offside, you can do that by anchoring the left foot. You don't have to move the left foot to get your eyes over your gloves at any stage on the offside. It's a very wide ball for you to have to take it outside your eye line. So for the offside, it's just a simple stay down with the ball, move that right foot so that your head and eyes are over your gloves, take the ball and transfer your weight back to the stumps. On the leg side, however, you have to move both feet. Come from your crouch, your gloves are low, a low, strong step, a skip step to get your head and eyes over your gloves. Take the ball in 2 hands, and it's probably the quickest to transfer back to the stumps with 1 hand. Movement both offside and leg side is along a straight line. That line I drew 2 foot lengths back from the crease, and that's where I like to be so that I can reach the stumps for stumpings when I need them. Remember, when you're keeping to the spinners, stay low with the bounce of the ball, watch the ball into your gloves with your head and eyes over your gloves, transfer your weight back to the stumps.
OK, now time to check other cricket scores around the globe and the country. The West Indies are well on top in their tour match in South Africa against Free State. They knocked Free State over for 67. McLean 7 for 28. The West Indies in their second innings are 2 for 112. Lambert and Williams in good touch there. Brian Lara was one of them, 2 men dismissed, and he was dismissed for a duck. Now, the Women's National League, they've had a double-header this weekend. Yesterday at the Adelaide Oval, South Australia 5 for 198 were defeated off the last ball by New South Wales 5 for 202, a boundary coming off that last delivery. Now, then we go to today, and South Australia batting are 3 for 111 in the 40th over. Rolton and Broadbent are the 2 major scorers. McGregor has 2 for 20. In Melbourne, the first match yesterday of the doubleheader, Victoria 4 for 151, got home against Queensland, who made 148 in 48.5 overs. So a very tight match there yesterday in Melbourne, and today 6 for 161, Victoria. As Zoe Goss trying to find some form and get her spot back in the international side. She made 30 from 73 deliveries. So for all cricketing updates during the afternoon and during the day, why don't you try our wideworldofsports.com.au address. That will give you all the information that you will need and all the up-to-date scores from around the world. Well, that's about all we've got time for here today on The Cricket Show. There'll be plenty more of the first test coming to you shortly, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at